Here we
Hi.
are.
How's your week at the gym this week?
My week at the gym was great. How about you?
It was also good.
Nice. How many days have you gone?
I went 4 days this week and I started on Sunday on my own. I did do a run, my first
Nice.
run of the year and first run on my own for like ages. Yeah, and it was really good. I purposefully intended to go really slow. I was like, I'm just going to keep my breathing really easy and go slow and just do 2 miles. And because I was like, my ring told me I had optimal sleep, optimal readiness. And my goal was like to also be optimally ready Monday. And I was.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it was good. Nice and easy. And I just enjoyed it, except for that my back hurt a little.
So I'm wondering if using the hip hook every day is changing things.
It's
So
so good.
yeah.
For me, it's good. Yeah. Yeah. How's it working out for you? So we have done the hip hook now 7 days. Yes.
Yes. Today's the
Or
seventh day.
yeah. So I've done it 6 days now.
Yeah. I'll have to do it tonight too.
Yeah. Are
Yeah.
you noticing some things?
Yeah, a little pain in the back area and the same kind of pain. I mean, it wasn't as nearly as bad as before, but similar pain with oh, is that my sciatic nerve in my butt? And it is this. And I actually went to the chiropractor on Thursday. I hadn't been in 2 months.
Mhm.
And he checked my psoas. He's like, hey, this is feeling great in here. I was like,
Great.
well, I think my body's learning things.
How about your iliacus? Did he check that?
He did not check my iliacus.
Okay. Did he x-ray your super wonky pelvis?
Not yet. We
Oh,
are going
okay.
to do
Oh,
that though.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might
'Cause
not be super wonky anymore.
No, I think after using the hip hook as well. And then I watched a video. So we had deadlifts in our WOD today, and I'm such a dork. So I watched a couple videos just about deadlift form, and they had a doctor on, and he was showing a pelvis. And I never realized that some people have shallow hip sockets and some have deep hip sockets, and it can vary based on where you're from in the world, so
Oh,
genetically.
interesting.
And there's a way to figure out how far apart your feet are
Mhm.
placed optimally by doing this almost like child's pose, but kind of rocking back and looking at your back. And
Mhm.
it was so fascinating.
Yeah.
And I was thinking I bet that I couldn't get as deep in squats because of the wonky pelvis. And then
Yes.
the hip socket, right, is just kind of
Yeah,
I
you
mean, he
might
was
have a
showing it's
shallow.
bone on bone, it's just so close.
Yeah, yeah,
Whoa. So maybe this release in the iliacus muscle is gonna help that.
yeah.
Yeah. But what have you noticed? Because I know one day you were like, ah.
My back pain is less and less, like that weird
Good.
thing over my lower back and hip, my left side. It's getting better. And I would say the worst was, so I did it, day one was Saturday. And then I went running and it didn't feel great running. Felt better, mile 2, but that's probably because I had endorphins or something. I don't know. But then I was sitting a lot. I was editing the podcast Sunday afternoon and my back was hurting when I was sitting. But then when I did the hip hook as a break, I did the hip hook and then some glute bridges, and that helped.
Nice.
But then I feel like every day this week it's just getting better and better, just repeating the hip hooking and
Yeah.
slightly different places. And
Yeah, it can be a very intense sensation.
yes, I actually, maybe my first couple days I was covering it with just so I have this, meditation shawl and
Hmm.
a mini one, a smaller one that came with it. And so I've been using the smaller one, just I think I only had it folded in half at first to, make it slightly less intense, but it
Hmm.
was too much. And so now I folded it in half again. So there's 4 layers of the fabric. And that's perfect. That is very tolerable. So I've been doing it longer. Like I couldn't take it for any amount of time with it being too intense. So I think it's better having it a little less intense and doing it for longer. I think that's
Yeah.
been more effective.
Nice idea.
Yeah. Do you do it with anything on top, or you
No,
just
I'm just like naked hip
oh
hook, all
God.
up in my business.
The first couple days for me were just excruciating, or maybe first 3 or 4 days. I don't remember. It's just gotten tolerable the last couple.
I have more of that intensity when I do the iliacus
Mhm.
area of like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I like this, right? You're supposed to be kind of that like good pain,
Oh, is it?
right? Like it's supposed to be like, ooh, that hurts, but it hurts so good.
Yeah, no.
And I'm not really sure if it was, yeah, sometimes I'm like, is this the right kind of pain? I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
experiencing any like throbbing
Mhm.
or like zinging or so, right? I'm not on any nerves or
Mhm.
anything, but
Mhm.
we shall see how it continues to improve.
Yeah.
It's so fun though to be like comparing how it felt the first time. And although
Yeah.
I still feel like a ding dong trying to find the area of like,
Oh,
am I in the right
yeah.
spot?
I
Am I in the right
know.
spot? Should I go here?
Just go with it. I think as long as you don't feel like nervy
Yeah.
action, it's
And
probably
I shouldn't be
fine.
a perfectionist about using the hip hook.
Right. That's what they say. They're like a whole region. This whole
Yeah.
area is
That's
gonna
the
work.
whole area.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing, like, because this is just, I feel like I've seen the results from a week or less than a week now, 6 days. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens by the end of the month. Maybe this whole area is going to be better, which is,
Yeah.
I've had something going on there for years.
That would be so awesome.
So it's really remarkable what happens when you do something consistently.
Oh, right?
Mhm.
Consistency.
Awesome.
It's really awesome.
Yeah.
So, do you want to talk about WODs? Because I actually did 4. I did 4 this week.
Yay, me too. What was your favorite?
I was excited to go today. So, it is open prep now at the gym,
Mm-hmm.
which means we have 9 weeks, I think, of every Friday. We're going to have the smash on the Friday in order to kind of simulate Friday Night Lights or whatever.
Okay.
So that means that the Metcons, by the way, what's the difference between what is a Metcon?
It stands for
Metabolic conditioning?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically anything that has like rounds, is that considered a Metcon?
No, it doesn't have to have rounds because it could be like a chipper or
Okay. But
yeah.
it's like the workout part. It's not just
yeah,
like the
it's not
strength
just
part.
like strength. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's getting it's getting you breathing hard and getting your blood
Okay.
pumping, all that.
Well, so we had some jumps. I was excited about the jumps on Monday because I'd been being a chicken
Oh,
about
yeah.
jumping on 20-inch boxes, and I did
Wow,
40 jumps.
Yay. On 20 inches.
And I even saw like the guy next to me and a guy a couple down kind of like biff a little bit, which
Ooh,
might
have
kind of
gotten
like
in your
was
head.
like, ooh,
Yeah.
but then I'm like, nope, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
So that was actually kind of fun, and I was proud of myself.
Great. Yes, I'm proud of you.
And then, yeah, I'm gonna say today was my favorite. Just gonna go ahead and say it. Today we did, because it was mimicking an open workout, it was a 15-minute AMRAP, 10 deadlifts, 15 far-facing burpees,
Ooh.
and 20 wall balls.
Wow, this was your favorite.
I chose to do RX.
Wow.
So
Way to go.
there's a games ready moment already right now. I have done today 16 deadlifts at 155.
Wow.
And my 1 rep max
in a Metcon
until this morning was 125.
Well, that's ridiculous because you knew you could have. I mean, I knew you could have done more than 125. So, wow, that's so cool. That was in the middle of the Metcon, right?
Yeah. And then I did use the 14-pound ball.
Wow.
So I did not my goal was to get 2 rounds, and I did 1 round and 6 deadlifts because I was definitely in my head about like the deadlifts a little bit, and I got really nervous, and we realized I needed to have 30 seconds in between. So that's just, it took me longer because I just needed a little break before I like went back to the bar and did it again. But at one point, the coach came over and was like, okay, do you want to go down for the second round? I was like, well, do they look bad? And she said, no, they don't look bad. I'm like, unless they look bad, I'm not changing the weight. Because damn it, I'm doing RX.
But you're not getting the stimulus. You're not really getting like the desired stimulus, when you're resting 30 seconds.
Oh, no. But if this was the games thing, I would have done RX.
Okay.
So, right, you get more points or something for doing RX versus scale.
Do you guys do teams or something at your gym?
No, you just record your pay some money. I think it's like
you're
$10.
gonna do the actually enter the game.
Well, I don't know if I'll do it this year, but I've done it every year just because there's a dumb t-shirt.
I've never done it. Oh, really?
Well, our gym has a t-shirt.
You get a t-shirt. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, okay.
I'm a sucker for a t-shirt.
Yeah.
So I would have done, I wanted to try it as an RX. So I could have dropped down the weight and I probably would have done more rounds, but I guess I'm just pretty proud of myself for keeping 155.
That's great. And I mean, I think you also you're doing your box jumps, getting back to the 20-inch box jumps when you had been really scared. That's games ready as well.
And this is also a games ready. So I've had 3.
Oh man.
Remember we were talking about double unders? And
yes.
I was telling you, I always did a single, double, stop, single, double. Well, I was practicing because I decided, all right, I'm just going to not use my big fat rope and I'll just practice.
Yeah.
And I had like whip marks all over, of course. Hurt so bad. And I whipped my toe one time. Oh my gosh, I killed. But there was one practice round. I got 4 in a row. And I was so excited and I screamed out, I got 4. And then I don't know if it's like a hormonal balance, like everything is aligned and it was the right song. And I was
the
just
planets
checked out enough. I got 10 in a row.
Yeah.
And I could even tell that my face, I was counting and I was like,
you probably messed the 11th one because you were so stunned that you did 10. That's great.
So excited. Yeah, I could even tell I felt where my body was and my hands were pointed down. And I know this sounds really weird, but one of my theories is I did not have strong enough forearms to maintain that those really fast beating it.
That could be my problem actually.
And I really think that was one of the things, because when I got that heavier rope and I would work on just doing singles, my forearms would hurt so bad. So, I mean, I'm generally stronger than I was just a year ago. So I think that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So I was like, that
was your biggest games ready moment probably, right? Yeah.
I don't know, doing a PR rep, 16 of them in a workout, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Although, and I do have to share though, I was even saying to the coach today, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to talk about this in the podcast because it was 2 minutes in. No, I did 5 deadlifts in the first minute. And I must have given her a look. And then I tried my 6th one and I kind of failed. And that's when she came over and we were like, okay, you need to take at least 20 seconds.
Mm.
And it was one of those moments where I started feeling like, okay, I'm putting myself out there. Like I'm doing something that I'm really taking a risk. And I'm failing in front of, not that I failed, but
Yeah.
I was way behind everybody else.
Yeah.
And I think that's partly like doing this podcast is encouraging me to be like,
Oh,
I might as well try it because
yeah. I'll have something to talk about.
yeah. And
Yeah.
that was a really big deal for me to just be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like 1 round and 6 reps, and everybody else is getting like 5.
Yeah. So
But
yeah,
it's
it's very cool.
yeah, and she was totally encouraging me to like
That's
just
great.
stick with the 155 and
Yeah.
then like take the 30 seconds. And watching those videos the day before or the night before always are
Mhm.
helpful for just those little
Yeah.
cues of like knees out, push into the ground, like
Mhm.
try to bend the bar.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what about you? What was your favorite workout?
I liked a couple of them for different reasons, but we did a 10-minute AMRAP of 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 air squats. So like half of Cindy, if you know that workout. And that I like, and that's fun. And I felt like, oh, I'm doing like more and better pull-ups and more and better push-ups and stuff like that. So that was good. We did shoulder press that day too, just like a strict press. And I did my max that I've ever done. So that was fun. I did 77 pounds.
Nice.
Yeah. And then another day we did like, oh, I did not like this part. I did not like, we did 10 reps of back squats, like first at 50% and then at 60%. And then, no, sorry. Yeah, 60% and then at 70%. And I
It
like,
gets super cardio, doesn't
yeah,
it?
the 70%, after 3, I was like, I'm a little dizzy. And
Yeah.
and then I would have like put it down and picked it up and did the rest, but we had a lot of people at that class. And so I was partnered up with someone and it was just like, oh, I don't know if she's gonna have the
Yeah.
time. So I just was like, eh.
Interesting that you guys did that because we did a similar-ish thing. It was 30, again, with the progression, like you were saying, with the percentages, but we were doing 30 seconds of work. So as many squats as you could
Oh,
in 30 seconds,
wow.
which whew, also, I remember
Yeah.
the first time I did 10 in a row, I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You guys, what?
Yeah. It's a
Ugh,
lot.
it
Yeah.
is.
Our coach is like, oh, wait till I have you do 20.
What?
What? That is going to have to be a much lower percentage, in my opinion. And then we did dumbbell DT after that, which is, oh, I didn't actually write down what it was, but I think I remember. It's 12 dumbbell deadlifts, then 9 dumbbell hang cleans, and 6 dumbbell push jerks. And I really liked, and it's what was it? Oh, I can't remember.
That sounds fun.
It is fun, except my left hand cramped up so bad, like my forearms. Actually, everyone was complaining, or, I don't know,
Yeah.
not complaining, but just saying how much harder it is than the regular DT with the barbell.
Interesting.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have a lot of asymmetrical issues. Like we hadn't done dumbbells or 2-hand kettlebell stuff in a while. And I really need to do that because my left side's so much weaker and worse.
Mm.
And yeah, so that was really challenging. Both my forearms, but especially my left hand was crazy.
Oh yeah, my hands can get so tired. Just
Mhm.
grip strength is not something that a lot of people have, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have grip strength. So yeah, those were a couple of my favorites. Yeah.
Do you have a games moment?
Games ready moment. I mean, I'm gonna just choose that I got back to running, even though it was
Yeah.
like a slow run. And it's like, I'm gonna go with that. And then Medicare ready, that was probably, well, it could be either my left hand just like cramping so bad, or yeah, let's just call it that.
Well, I mean, that's great because then nothing's like, you didn't feel like you really sucked at something.
Well, I could say that I sucked at those back squats. I didn't finish the last round. So yeah, I could say that. Anyways, today we did a 24-minute AMRAP with 4 different things. And one of them was push-ups. And I actually, well, hand release push-ups. I just did regular ones on like the super low box.
Hmm.
What is it, 1 foot probably. And I couldn't, my shoulder started hurting so much. I skipped the last few rounds
Oh
of
no.
push-ups. Yeah. I just did the other stuff, but I mean, I felt good about that.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, like, people in the South are super wimpy about the cold. It was like 20 degrees this morning.
Ooh.
And because of that, like, only 3 people showed up. And that was even after they actually canceled the 5:45 a.m. class.
Oh wow.
Because like last night, because it was either going to be so cold or that it was possible the roads were going to be icy, which I don't even think they were. I know the schools closed the night before because
Don't
they
even get me
thought,
started about this.
because they of the possibility of snow. Like, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
I mean,
And then you have the people that complain that the school should have been closed. So Michigan, they did have a couple snow days. And I know my friend was saying one morning, I don't know why the kids are home. It's not even snowing that hard. It's dumb.
yeah. Well,
And then
in Michigan, it's got to be like a ton of snow, right?
well, this is what's different now.
Oh,
It's gotten more wimpy
wimpy. Yeah.
since I was a kid.
Wow.
And now I feel like, yes, it is extreme, like
Extremely wimpy.
extremely wimpy.
Wow.
And so my dad, being a former administrator, has stories of like, it's damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah.
You get phone calls regardless of the call that you make.
Yeah.
And people don't understand buses are fucking heavy. Those things, they might slide a little, but there aren't very many bus accidents dealing with like ice and snow.
Oh, because they don't move very much. Like,
No, they're just such
that's
big
cool.
tanks.
Yeah.
And they're really safe. Like, even though they don't have seatbelts, they are very, very safe.
Yeah.
And then I start wondering, well, now that you guys have all done homeschooling, Zoom schooling,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have any snow days, right?
Oh gosh.
I'm being sassy about that. But
I know.
no, so I've said this to people that live in Michigan that don't really understand Denver weather. Like, people out here do not know how to drive in the snow. And I'm like,
Oh yeah,
what?
here too. I mean,
Like, well,
LA too. Like,
people move to Denver from LA and Texas, and it will maybe get snow on the road like maybe 10 times in a season. So it's not like they get a lot of practice.
yeah.
It was on New Year's Eve, the temperature plummeted and we got like all of a sudden like crazy snow. And we needed to go back to the shop to turn on some water because we did not want the pipes to freeze. And as we got up to the intersection of like near 6th and Sheridan, 6th seems like a highway. There was a bus, like a city bus, totally cattywampus, kitty corner, like had slid down and was blocking things. And then there were like other cars stuck because there are hills, and if it freezes and you don't have a 4-wheel drive car, it's hard to get your car to go up the hill if you've been at a stop sign, Yeah. So we go finally past that bus, we go under the 6th, and there's another bus on the other side, totally like,
wow.
And John's like, oh, I bet that first bus driver's like, oh, thank God I'm not the only idiot.
Yeah.
So I try to stay home when it snows here because I don't trust the other drivers. It's
Yeah.
not like being back in my hometown when it would snow a lot, because
Yeah,
then you could
everyone
drive
knows.
around.
Yeah.
Everybody knows how to drive,
Mhm.
and then there's not a ton of traffic. And
Mhm.
it's kind of fun when you're like, let's go see how bad it is.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm sorry that you had to work out in 20-degree weather.
It wasn't bad actually.
Did you wear leg
'Cause you-
warmers?
No, but I wore my leggings and sweats on top of them, like
Mm.
loose sweats.
Yeah.
And then I wore a long sleeve shirt and my sweatshirt and then a hat. I think the hat was the real key, but
Yeah.
it didn't, I'd much rather work out in 20 degrees than 85.
Oh,
Like
I'd rather work
much.
out in 85.
Mhm.
Love to
Not
sweat.
me. Believe it or not, I sweated. Even though I took off my sweatshirt for the 24-minute AMRAP.
That's a long
I
time.
actually left and I had taken off my hat well before that, but I had, what do you call it? I left my double layers on the bottom.
Mm.
My legs were warm, but then I was like, wow, my legs feel hot. But yeah, it was good.
My goal this weekend is I'm going to try and sew a pair of double-sided, so you can wear them either way, leg warmers that have snaps
Ooh, so it's easy
out of
to take
fleece.
off
Yes.
over your sneakers,
Over your
right?
shoes. Yeah. Such a
That's
pain
excellent.
when you
Yeah.
like have to now, and I've only seen them like on Etsy with zippers, and those more are worn by ice skaters.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a great idea.
They look really cute on those ice
Yeah.
skating boots too. But
Right.
so I'll see how it
Ooh,
goes.
yeah. Post a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love leg warmers,
Mhm.
but I just don't always want to take my shoes off.
Yeah.
And I like the look when it's like a little bit wider, so it kind of goes over your
Mhm.
shoe a little bit.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, it has to cover the gap between like
Oh,
the legging and the shoe.
it's kind of,
It
yeah, because you get
is.
like that millimeter of breeze and
Yeah.
it changes your entire
Yeah,
body's
exactly.
temperature.
I know.
Well, it dropped the other day. I went out and it was 38, and 2 hours later I got home and it was 15.
Ooh.
And then that night it was 3 degrees.
Oh, wow. See, that's weather. I can understand maybe canceling your gym class if you don't have heat and it's 3 degrees
Yeah.
out.
Yes.
But 20, come on.
Yeah. Okay. Because there are people that, so I started watching this YouTube guy named Mr. Ballin, and he tells these amazing stories. And the one I listened to last night, there was a man that lived in Maine, and after Chernobyl happened, he was like, I'm out of here. And he went into the woods. He lived in the woods for 27 years, Annette. Nobody knew he was there. He lasted in Maine for 27
Wow.
winters.
Wait, he didn't build a little house?
He had like a little like area, but he wouldn't even go to sleep because he didn't want to build a fire, because he didn't want to like alert to anybody to where he was. And so he would just stay up all night and just walk around circles.
He was a little nuts.
Yeah, he got arrested for like that and convicted of robbery, theft, whatever you call that.
Yeah.
He had like 1,000 times that he stole food.
Mm.
And he was like, I didn't want to do that, but I was really bad at like my own food.
Yeah. There's only so much you can grow or forage in the winter in Maine.
In Maine. But after his sentence, he like decided to stay. He like has a job and lives in an apartment.
Oh, weird.
He just became like a human interacting with humans. But that's all to say, 20 degrees is nothing to like,
yeah,
you're going to move your body and you're going to start to sweat for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, it just depends where you grow up. Like if you grow up in, or I went to school in Buffalo, I lived in Boston, like these places are like, you can be outside and not be freezing at 20 degrees. It's like no big whoop.
Yeah, no big whoop.
Yeah, I should like go back to New York where originally from, and ran winter track, we would, I mean, the meets were inside, but we would run outside because we didn't have, if the roads were icy, we would run through the hallways. But if it was just cold,
Yeah, I know.
we were out there.
Everybody's gotten so soft.
Yeah, true.
Miss those hardy days.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like,
Wait, we sound really old right now, though, talking about the old days. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you have a what hurts besides your back a little bit?
I feel great. How about you? I'm gonna go with
Awesome.
that.
Yeah, I think I feel great too.
Yay. Yay, nothing hurts.
Woohoo! Nothing hurts.
Okay, let's go on to our question.
Yes. Well, again, we want to thank Lisa for asking the
Yes,
question last week. And we really want to give out a shout out to our first 5-star review.
Yay.
Thank you so much to Christine.
Thank you, Christine.
Giving us a rating and writing us a review. We really appreciate it.
I have a question. Did you read the review?
No.
Do you know how to find it? Me either.
No.
I know. I'm like, okay, we have to figure out how we actually find it to see it. But we did get an email notification that we got this review. So thank you so much. I know some people look at the reviews, like the people who use whatever iTunes is it, or
iTunes or Spotify.
At the reviews. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah. So we do have a question. Well, it's kind of a bunch of questions today from Margaret.
Yes. Ask Ann and Annette.
Ask Ann and Annette. Margaret asks, when do you feel most successful at the gym?
That's the first question. Oh, are you going to go through all of them?
Yeah, I'll go through all and then.
Yeah.
So when do you feel most successful at the gym? What inner difficulties did you experience when you first started CrossFit? And how did you overcome them? How have your motivations at CrossFit changed over time? And thoughts on wondering if CrossFit should be so important in my life if I'm not a high-performing sort of athlete. Those are great questions.
Yeah,
thank you so much, Margaret.
Yeah, thank you, Margaret. I'm going to take the last one first.
Go, yeah.
Yeah. So can you repeat it just one more time?
Thoughts on wondering if CrossFit should be so important in my life if I'm not a high-performing sort of athlete.
Yeah. So I get the feeling, Margaret, that your question implies that CrossFit is really important to you, and you're doubting whether it should be, right? And so my answer to that is like, if you love it, like it's important to you and you love it, like that's really important. There's that Joseph Campbell quote that I really like about, I meant to look it up. Like, what the world needs is more human beings fully alive or something. We should look this up.
Is it about following your bliss?
Yeah. I mean, it's essentially about following your bliss, but I thought there was like another, maybe it's somebody else who actually said that. I'm going to just type in the phrase, like what the world needs is more.
What the world needs now is CrossFit. Or CrossFit.
Oh yeah, here it is. Oh, it is not Joseph Campbell. It's Howard Thurman.
Oh, okay.
The book is The Living Wisdom of Howard Thurman, a visionary for our time. And the quote is, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive and go do that, because what the world needs is people who have come alive.
Boom.
So yeah, so I would, I go with that, Margaret. Just, if you love CrossFit, if it makes you feel alive, then don't doubt it. Just do what you love, man. Yeah, or woman. So that's her first question. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, or you want to take another one? Take one of the other ones.
It should be so important. I guess is the thinking behind this, unless I'm a professional at something, should I not put should I not like pay money for it, think about it, spend time doing it, right? Like I used to tell my students, you wrote a page, you're a writer. I always call it, right, when we changed subjects, I'd be like, okay, readers, or okay, writers, or okay, mathematicians. Because if you do that, if you go for a run, you're a runner.
Yeah.
And if you like it, maybe there's like an external thing making her feel like she shouldn't talk about it so much. I don't know.
Oh, like somebody's telling her not to talk about it.
Well, maybe they're like, why are you spending so much time doing it?
Yeah,
And
maybe.
in that, I would say they're jealous because maybe they want to spend more time with you, or maybe they wish that they were as cool as you and as brave as you for going to the gym all the time. Because it is bravery, I think. So, Annette, when do you feel most successful at the gym?
Probably it's like when everything comes together, like if I feel that mentally I've made the right choices in a workout, I've gone for a good weight and I go out at a good pace that I end up lasting. And yeah, I just like when I feel like I've gotten a good workout and I've made good choices.
Yeah, I like that. I really like achieving the next little milestone. I like realizing like, oh, I just did a heavier thing than I did 6 weeks ago. And I really like this Sugar WOD app for that because it kind of tracks that for you. So I don't have to write it down. So mine is still kind of outcome based, which maybe that's not so healthy. I don't know.
It is fun though and satisfying when you're
It is
improving.
and not beating yourself up for not going up, but even adding 2.5 more pounds or whatever, like that's something. You're still adding,
Yeah. I mean, enjoy it while it lasts though, because I don't know if that's
Oh, no.
sustainable for years and
Right.
decades. So
No, exactly. So I think I'm new enough that there's going to be times where I have more like quote unquote PRs versus people that have been doing this for 10 years because they're like they kind of got to their something else would have to change, right? They'd have to change their diet or something. What inner difficulties do you experience or did you experience when you started CrossFit? And then how did you overcome them? I would say for me, I was intimidated by some of the Ollie lifting for sure, those Olympic lifts. And I was intimidated in general by the people. And I remember what was one of my goals was that I wanted to be able to wear booty shorts.
That's not that hard.
Right, because you can just put them on your body.
Yeah.
But my biggest inner difficulty was realizing I wasn't going to be good, let alone perfect. And I really have had a history of trying something and being pretty good at it.
Yeah.
And not taking a lot of like effort. And this was really different. And I guess maybe part of like an ego thing to kind of like, oh, wow. And then there's that like, well, I'm still valuing myself as a human, even though I'm not really good at this. And if you grew up, maybe like I did, you might put a lot of value of your self-worth on how you perform. It was, that huge realization of like, oh, fuck, I might never be good. And I think it took me like overcoming. I still have issues, but I guess just being around it and allowing myself to be seen and try it. And so I guess I overcame it just by continuing to show up.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably had, I think I had some of that too. Yeah, just kind of feeling like, okay, well, I'm not one of the like real athletes here, but I still fit in or still, And it wasn't super hard, I think, because it was a good environment for that. Like,
Mhm.
no one was making me feel like any less than or anything than anyone else. So that was good.
And then the last one, how have your motivations at CrossFit changed over time?
Margaret, these are really thoughtful
I
questions.
know. They're
Yeah.
so deep.
Yeah. How our motivations changed over time. Like, I literally just wanted in the beginning to just get do something to kind of stay active and ease my anxiety that I was feeling right after I moved, and just to have something to, maybe like make some friends or meet some people during the day.
Mhm.
And now it's just um, motivations. I really feel like I'm into just being my best now, and I don't know, it just feels different. It
Mhm.
feels more, I mean, more fun, but more my motivations.
I know.
Yeah,
This
I
is a
feel like I'm
really
messing
interesting
up this
question.
question. Hey, we could save this one if we want. Do we want to save a question for
We
next
can.
time?
Yeah, that's just I really haven't
Yeah, I haven't
I've
thought.
never really thought about my
Yeah, me either.
motivation. Like,
Yeah,
huh. Well, I
it's
mean, I can tell you that I used to think I would start every new year off being like, how am I going to get down to 117? Like I need to
uh
be skinny.
yeah. Did you start CrossFit with the motivation of
I
being
thought that
skinny
I
though?
would get back to, yeah. And not,
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just had a misconception of uh like being fit and being skinny, if that makes any sense. Like I guess I have in my head what skinny is, and it's definitely not strong. Yeah. I had that at the beginning of like, I'm going to weigh 117. So I was looking at my weight, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I wouldn't ever be able to get stronger if I had that mentality still, because
And
I'd be
now,
thinking about how to restrict my diet.
yeah. And your motivation now, I mean, from what I see, I would guess it's just like you just love it now.
I love it.
Yeah.
I have so much fun.
Yeah,
I like,
that's me too,
I love
that's my
challenging
motivation
myself.
now. I didn't know it would be fun in the beginning. So that's how my motivation has changed as well. I mean, not
Nice.
necessarily from wanting to be skinning, just kind of wanting to be in shape and wanting to have like an outlet to blow off steam and, just feel like I was doing something active, like I was getting out there and meeting people.
Hmm.
And yeah, now it's really, yeah, because I love it too.
Yeah. I just, I really like, even if I don't end up getting tons and tons of PRs or whatever, just being able to do a push up and be like, whoa, that was just so much easier than it used to
Yeah.
be. Right. Like just even the
Yes.
littlest things are
Mhm,
really cool celebrations.
mhm.
And part of my motivation was definitely to make friends or meet people or be part of a community. When you're self-employed, you're like,
Yeah, exactly. That's
I'm
my
my own
my deal
best
too.
friend.
Yeah. Everyone I talk to during the day is like some other part of the country or world. And
Yeah.
yeah, through Zoom. So it's nice to see people in person
Yes.
that aren't like, paying you to talk to them. So there's some value in that.
Yeah. Great
Okay.
question.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Margaret.